Hello, I'm Bill Chilcoat, and we are at the Ambassador Air Park near Mounds, Oklahoma. This is my home field, and it is also the home location for the Green Country Ultralight Flyers organization. This is my weed hopper. This is one of the granddaddies of the ultralight. The weed hoppers started in the late 1970s, and they were built as a true ultralight from the ground up. This is a Model C weed hopper. It's powered by a Rotax 277 engine. It's a 28 horsepower engine, single cylinder. I've got a Perry P-tip prop on it. The weed hopper is a 2-axis controlled ultralight. By that we mean it has elevator and rudder for controls. It does not have spoilers or ailerons. Therefore, it is a little bit limited as far as crosswind capability and performance. Normally you would want to always take off into and land into the wind with a weed hopper. Okay, the weed hopper weighs less than 254 pounds, and that is the requirement to be considered an ultralight. This aircraft here weighs in at about 230 pounds. The wing surface area on this aircraft is 168 square feet, which is more than a Cessna 152. This aircraft is also stressed for more gravitational pull, both positive and negative, than a Cessna 150. This is stressed at a +8 and a -3 Gs. Very strong aircraft. The weed hopper is definitely a good entry-level aircraft. As we mentioned, it's very strong, it's very safe, it's very secure, it's very forgiving, it's very docile. Therefore, it is certainly a good aircraft for someone to become introduced to ultralight aviation. And we have found that, as we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of these aircraft in our club. We've got people in our club that have been flying these aircraft for the duration of their ultralight career, which in some cases is in excess of 10 years. The takeoff roll on the weed hopper is normally no more than 200 feet. Of course, that varies with pilot weight and weather conditions, but under normal circumstances, the takeoff roll is not in excess of 200 feet, and they can be landed easily in a distance of about 400 feet. I do take several cross-country trips in my weed hopper, and the fuel capacity, of course, on an ultralight is 5 gallons. My weed hopper with this engine burns about 2.5 gallons an hour. So you can fly at cruise speed around 45 miles an hour. So on a short cross-country hop, on a non-stop, about 80 miles would be a good cross-country trip. The weed hopper, in its normal configuration, will stall at about 23 miles an hour. And this weed hopper here is trimmed out very precisely. You can actually fly it hands-off at a certain RPM. At about 5,000 RPM, it will fly straight and level, and it does not dip to the right or to the left. When you bring the plane into a stall, it will begin to buffet just slightly, and it will then just gentle nose down, and it's recovered from the stall immediately. You can have this plane folded down with the wings removed in about 20 minutes, and it takes 20 to 25 minutes to reassemble it. The weed hopper comes as an assembly kit from the factory in Clinton, Mississippi. When one purchases a weed hopper, it takes about 6 weeks for all the components and the wing sails to be manufactured. Then the procedure would be for the new owner to travel to Clinton, Mississippi, where he will see his weed hopper completely assembled on the floor at the factory. That way the owner knows that everything is there, everything is fitting, and there's no problem with the aircraft. There's no question, and you can see what it will look like ultimately when you put it together yourself. Now, James Thornton suggests that you help him take it apart at the factory and pack it in the various packing crates, and it would be transported back to your home location, where at that time you would reassemble the kit. And on a Model C weed hopper such as this, which has, by the way, has been replaced with an improved version called the Standard. It's the same, basically the same airframe, but it's now called a Standard with various improvements. You can assemble this kit from the packages in about 8 to 10 hours. It's strictly an assembly kit. All the bolts, the nuts, the brackets, everything that you need to fly the airplane, with the exception of gasoline, is provided by the factory. I normally don't attempt to fly the weed hopper in winds greater than 10 miles an hour. It will certainly handle those conditions, but it's just not fun to be up there and be bounced around and sloshed around. I fly ultralight strictly for fun, and If the weather conditions are not right, there will always be a better day. There are three things that are of no use at all to any pilot. That's the air above you, the runway behind you, and the gasoline back at the hangar.